already been so much shit talking that I cannot wait to see where this episode goes.
Oh, this is cool. Shit. All right, what we got,
All right,
Lauren?
here we go. Let's play Death by. Topic number 1. Part of the reason why Wadapalooza is so iconic is because of the location. Outside, by the water, but with being outside comes Mother Nature and having to be able to change programming and things on the fly. Now, earlier this season, we also saw the Rogue Invitational, another event hosted outside, had to change programming and location of the workouts because of Mother Nature. So the big question now is, should CrossFit events stop hosting events outside without the ability to move inside? Chase, you were the only one home this weekend, so we'll let you begin.
Oh,
Nice.
man.
I love when
Shots.
Chase starts. That's
Yes.
cool. 2 points, no matter what you say, Chase. She's got to leave it open for everyone
I'm
else.
taking all of it. Here's the thing with events. None of this is the fault of the events themselves. It's the weather. You can't control it, unfortunately. Well, unless you're Dubai. You can actually make it rain, but that's a whole nother topic. But when you look at... There's no middle ground here, because when events are outside, I mean, that's classic CrossFit in its most natural environment. If you think of the CrossFit Games, Rogue Invitational, Wadapalooza, I mean, Miami Beach, it's been like that since, 2012? It's been a destination place for a reason. But you look at where we've seen problems over the years. 2008, Matt's getting burned on the deadlift event at the CrossFit Games. 2010, Matt's burning people in the final events. 2015, Murph. Go down the list. We've had a lot of problems with the weather affecting the competition itself on the athlete perspective. But then you got to look at the spectator side too. When it's good, it's great, and when it's marginal, it's bad. There is no middle ground. It's not fun for the athletes to be in an environment like that, whether it's the weather or programming having to change. It's no fun for the spectators to sit out there uncomfortable. Unfortunately, I think as we move closer to more of a professional sport, we have to bring this thing indoors. It's take the environment out of the way when it comes to a CrossFit competition, either finding the fittest or a $75,000 prize purse or a premier event that everybody wants to see the best compete at the same level. It's got to come indoors.
4 points for Chase for a strong start. Justin Kotler, we're going to let you go second. I'm going to throw you a bone right now.
If that was anybody else, just so we're clear, that would have been like 1 or 2.
Yeah, 1 and a half.
But it's Chase. It's a pinky Chase.
No question.
Do you think that I pick favorites?
A little bit. That's all right, though. Let me. I love this topic. So here's the deal. I'm going to look at it from almost a strictly programming perspective. When you create an event and when you write the programming for an event, you are telling a story. The entire weekend is the test. And the problem with what we've seen recently, and really, like, it goes back as far as Chase said, but in more recent, where everyone can kind of look at, is Alpaca from the games, where they had to take out the rope climbs, the legless rope climbs, which obviously would have changed things immensely. Rogue earlier this year, Wadapalooza this weekend. The issue now is that it is starting to affect the story, and what's happening is you're looking at elite competitive events, and they're turning them into events that essentially look like open events. And that's fine for the open, but it's not fine for an elite competition with the best in the world. And what I would like to see is, I would love to see the indoor contingencies. And I have no problems with you doing some of the events outside, but do the events outside that won't be affected by inclement weather. And in fact, maybe they'd be enhanced by inclement weather. Mental toughness, emotional toughness. If it's raining on you, if it's colder, if it's this, if it's that, that's fine. I don't mind that stuff, as long as the rain or the heat, etc., are not affecting the test. I think if you're going to have events like you saw this weekend, having them indoors, like Cortadito was a hell of a workout. If you looked at the programming of that workout, that is one of my favorite written elite competitive tests that I've seen over the last few years. And it turned into something that was completely different. And that was unfortunate. And I'm sure it affected the leaderboard, and I'm sure it affected, the ultimate test of the weekend. So I would love to see that they have the ability to be able to do both, but without question, we cannot leave it up to Mother Nature moving forward in these elite competitive competitions.
Another strong start for Justin Cotler. You also got 4 points for that answer. Now, are you happy?
Ish. I thought it was 5. That's all right. I'm ish.
It's round one. It's round
I know,
one. We got plenty of time to play the game. But I do like your points about the programming as a whole and comparing it to the Open. We're now going to move over to Snorri Barron to give us his answer for topic number 1.
All right. I, of course, have to place myself with the athletes on this one. They prepare for something specific. They don't really factor in the weather in there. They would always be looking at Miami as a sure thing for just sun and dry weather, which it hasn't proven to be. I've been there 4 times. 2 of those times were rain-free, but the other 2 were, we had some extreme weather in both those cases. But they expect certain things when they sign up for the competition, and they come here when the events have changed at the last minute. Some of them are being counted out. I work with Henrik Haapalainen, the Finnish Games athlete, and it impacted him quite badly, those changes that were made in the ahead of the first event. Because it changed the strategy around. Of course, they have to be prepared for that, but at the end of the day, they're built in certain ways. There are movements they're very good at. There are movements that some of the others are better than they at. So this changes the whole dynamic of the competition. So for that reason only, the things that change will impact the athletes, and where I'm working with the athletes, of course, I will take the stand that this needs to be handled somehow. At Wadapalooza, can there be a roof of some sort, a tent or whatever, be put over the floor? I don't know. Are there solutions that can retain it in the same place, but at the same time guard it so that not everything gets wet and that the workouts can keep on going? I wonder, but as has been said, this impacted Rogue greatly. This impacted a phenomenal event like the Alpaca greatly as well. And it's been going on for a long time. We're working at professionalizing the sport. We are working with people's livelihoods here. We're working with athletes who are trying to make a living and trying to leave behind a legacy. And when it's left down to the weather and not their skills to be able to perform to the best of their abilities, then of course something needs to be done. And there can be events that happen outdoors. There can be a trail run, or there can be something that happens outdoors that isn't down to the weather, where the weather isn't a factor. If it's crazy windy, if there's a tornado going on, hey, better. It just makes for better TV. But in essence, the main part of this needs to have some consistency to it, so what the athletes prepare for is what they actually do. Over and out.
2 points for Snorri. Matt.
Damn, fuck.
You just said sorry.
There you go, bro. There's your first. There you go. There's your introduction to the great letdown.
Criticism. I mean, you gotta help a guy out. I mean, you talk too long. More like that, okay?
Is it because I have an accent?
No.
I mean, I'm a serious detriment here being Icelandic with all these Americans here.
Absolutely. Call the morning truck up. Discrimination.
Oh my God. We're off the rails and I love it. This is why this show is so fun. Matt O'Keefe, as somebody who kind of has a peek behind the curtain, working with Wadapalooza, working with Loud and Live in the past, any other insight that you can give to us when